at large should not mess with. And there's an attitude here in this culture. With that attitude, with the culture, many of us citizens have ingested what, quote, strong leadership is, and we project it. So many of us, when September 11th, 2001 occurred, there was a immediate reflex, a guttural and visceral, we're going to get them. Let's not let them get away with this. And yet people all over the world have been attacked, have had terrorism living in their countries. I mean, this is definitely not the first country this has happened in. This has been happening all around the world. However, I would bet you that most Americans, both Republican and Democrat, who don't necessarily want war, believe in war, or even really in their hearts believe that war works, are very hooked into fighting back, taking a stand, and expressing military might and destruction if we're attacked. And so this is like a knee-jerk reaction. And this is the thing that we have to fight or transmute on a very basic individual level, because the forces to fight back and to continue it and continue it and continue it, quote, ideologically, to stop other violence in the world, it's a trap. But we're in it. It's like glue. And we're stuck in this glue. And so when you take somebody like Saddam Hussein, who has overtly tortured his own people, and other terrorists have been in other countries, Idi Amin, and other people, all of a sudden it's the United States' raison d'etre to start going after all these terrorists, which really is going to take us, is already turning the tide of history into more destruction. But my question to you is, if you were to sit with President Bush and Dick Cheney, and it would take you and Thich Nhat Hanh to do it, and you have to transmit something to them, you understand that these men, their whole lives have been trained from young boys about what leadership is and isn't in the context of the leadership I just described to you. What would you and Thich Nhat Hanh advise them? What would you ask them to experiment with first on a small level? Because in my conversation, you have talked brilliantly about taking small little steps and seeing big ramifications and results from it. What is the small step you would ask President Bush at this time and Dick Cheney to experiment with at a leadership level?
Yeah, I can tell him that United States is a great country. In fact, I recognize that United States is a country where there is a lot of opportunity for people to have creative idea and can set up creative new things, and it's so great. And the greatness of United States, until now nobody ignore about technology, about everything. But there is one thing that United States miss. That is the strength, spiritual strength. And the great president must be, the great leader must be somebody who has a very deep spiritual strength. And in France, I think that the first time Monsieur François Mitterrand asked La Force Tranquille. It means a tranquil strength. It means Miss President Bush or any president of United States need to have to cultivate a lot in spirituality. And spirituality, it doesn't mean that when you open your mouth, is God bless you. But you live in the way that people see in you part of God. The president who dare to listen to the suffering voice, like I listened to that American soldier with the guns about to shoot me. I approach him kindly. I ask, what do you want to find? I don't understand why your presence is there and you behave in such a way. And so when I listen like that, and then he tell me, and I have a chance to explain. So President Bush must, for me, President Bush or any president must organize a council of wise people. It doesn't need the bishop or rabbi, but those who are normal people, but care for peace. It could be a social worker. It could be a unknown woman or man who work in slum area, in this area, among Native American, among Afro-American, among white but poor European American, and we try to understand. This committee try to listen what is the people, our people need in order to satisfy, to make peace, to give satisfaction. Because love, you have to learn to love yourself in order to be able to love people. So a president of the United States has to learn to love his own people, and then in the same time he tried to love the world. So his own people, there are Afro-American, Native American, poor refugees, and many areas where many spots, Arab American, and many spots of Americans who suffer because of misunderstanding. Many Arab Americans are misunderstood now. They look like terrorists. And we need to listen to them and understand why, because they can be very good supporter of the regime, or they can be terrorists. It depends on our way of behavior. If that morning I shout at the American soldier, he will shoot me. Or if I have a gun, I shoot quicker. And then other friends of him will shoot me. But I listen to him. So the president of United States have to learn to listen to many factions of his own people, who see in which way he can improve life of his own people. And then overseas, he have to send his embassy representative of United States in every country, and especially the country where there is many terrorists, potential terrorists, and try to understand from the poor people how do they think about United States of America. Because, nowadays in many Arab countries, they name their baby just born Osama. Osama is the first name of Bin Laden. So they misunderstood United States a lot. So if United States listen to them and they say that, United States discriminate us, want to discriminate our religion, to sabotage our religion, to sabotage ourselves like a people. If United States can hear on this voice, and so United States will change their policy in the way that make these Arab people will think that, no, United States are not so evil. They are so nice. They listen to our voice and they try to change their policy. In the past, their foreign policy are only for supporting dictator. But now they want to listen to the voice of the poor people in Arab country, and they want to listen to the suffering of people, and they want to support wonderful things to help us. And so you can transform these potential terrorists into friends. Like I have transformed this American soldier into my friends. He left after consulting with their friends, and they come and ask me, and finally they left the village safely, kindly, and respect all the property of people without touching anything, without destroying anything, and very nice. But this morning, that morning in Vietnam, if I was unskillful, I do some wrong act, and then I attract a lot of terror, and these American soldiers will become terrorists.
Now that may be, Sister Chan Khong, if I may just step in here for just a moment. I do want to make a distinction with you over the air for listeners. Some of them will be thinking, look, we get that, but in this particular cultural motif, when people are cutting people's heads off over the air, that lends itself to a level of fanaticism for which dialogue is inept or bankrupt. And therefore, Americans are now trained mentally to dismiss the voice of those who operate in this fashion, because they have no value for human life, even at the base level of misunderstanding and distortion of who Americans are and what America is this hopelessness Americans feel now that there's